I think it's only right you start with the Super Bowl champs, right? Get them out the way.
God, man, get them out of the way, man. Say what you got to say about them, and just keep it moving, man. Please, bro. I,
Ah.
I hate them dudes so much, man.
It's the Cowboys in you, man. That's all. It's the Cowboys in
Uh, uh, he is a holdout, Raffy. He is a holdout. He's Trey Hendrickson is about his money, man. He is a
you. Nah, he ain't
holdout.
playing. He's not gonna be that team player, good sport. F
He
you.
is a holdout. Micah Parsons is probably going to come. He's probably going to report and be a hold in. Everybody else for the most part is a hold in. James Cook is practicing. Cortland Sutton is practicing. You not finna see Trey Hendrickson. That boy is staying his ass
He
home.
wants his money. He wants
He's
his
staying
money.
his ass home. All right, man. Get on with these Philly Eagles, man. What you got to say about these dudes, man?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Did you?
Look,
You ain't had to do all that, dog. You ain't had to put that extra sauce on that, bro. Like that, you
listen,
know.
man, Herbie. Look. Listen, man. When it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, what is there? What can you really say about these guys, Herbie? In terms of all 32 NFL teams, if there is any team that is in position to get back to the heights that they reached, it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles, right? When you consider the fact, look, in the offseason, they did lose a few guys, right? You have Brandon Graham, he retired. Josh Sweat ended up leaving and going to the Cardinals. Mekhi Becton left and went to another team. But they still have 4 out of those 5 starters on that offensive line from last season coming back, including a future Hall of Famer in Lane Johnson. They still have the great Saquon Barkley. They still have AJ Brown. They still have what's his name? Devontae Smith. They still have Dallas Goedert. And most importantly, they still have Jalen Hurts. So when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles from an offensive standpoint, Herbie, we're going to get more of the same in terms of what the Philly can do on offense, right? They have they can dominate pretty much on every level of their offense, right? They can, if they want to run the ball all over you, they can do that. If they want to throw the ball on you, they can do that. Now, they don't do that a lot with Jalen Hurts, and it's not because he can't do it, it's just because they don't have to. Right? When you have the fat boys up front that they have with an electric player like Saquon, it affords you that option, right? And then you look at their defense, Herbie. They did lose some guys on defense, right? I already mentioned Josh Sweat. They lost Milton, right? They lost a few guys on defense, right? They lost C.J. Gardner Johnson, but the Eagles, and this is where a ton of credit goes to. This is where a ton of credit goes to Howie Roseman, the GM, right? Because he did such a good job of acquiring talent and adding depth that even when the Eagles lose talented guys, they still got talented guys left. You still have the terrific tandem of Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. You still have Zach Bond, who you drafted Jahad Campbell, who he was one of the linebackers that I was really like. He was one of my favorite prospects when I was looking at the draft guys earlier in the offseason, right? And you're gonna pair him with Zach Bond, who had an outstanding year last year, who came back to the Eagles. I think they were thinking about letting him go, but he played so well last year they decided to bring him back. And then of course, Herbie, you can't forget about those guys in the secondary, those young players. When you look at Cooper DeJean, who was just completely awesome in his first year, Quinyon Mitchell, you know what I'm saying? They added who did they add in the offseason? I know I wrote it down. They added Adoree Jackson because they did lose a few corners. They lost talented guys like Isaiah Rodgers and whatnot at the cornerback spot. But Herbie, the Eagles are in as good a shape as any team in the NFC. Herbie, they are still the most talented team in the NFC, and they are now at that level to where, Herbie, they are the team in the NFC that has the championship air. Right, the Chiefs in the AFC are the team that has been carrying that. But if you really look at the Eagles the past few seasons, they went to a Super Bowl a couple years back. They lost. They started 10-1 in 2023, and because their defense had a lot of holes in it, they tapered off towards the end of the season and lost to the Bucks. But they started 10-1. And now you look at them in 2024, they were once again one of the best teams in the NFL, and they won the Super Bowl, Herbie. And the foundation is in place. The culture is in place. All the key figures needed to have sustained success are there. So when I look at the Eagles, Herbie, I'm sorry to spell doom for you, but I mean, I think they're going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC again. I don't know who is going to rise up from any of these divisions that's going to really be able to topple them, especially when you consider the fact that they have a majority of their talent returning. A lot of these players are young and they're only going to be better. And they have the championship aura around them to where it's just like they've been there and done that. So when they get into these playoff situations that they were already good at excelling in, they're gonna have even more confidence. They're gonna have even more bravado. So I mean, the Eagles, Herbie, they're gonna be as terrifying as any team in the league. Maybe their offensive line takes a hit because Mekhi Becton left, but they still have tons of other talented guys. It's just, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. That just the Eagles are probably going to be the best team in the NFC again.
All right, so first things first, we got some new people who might not be familiar with the dynamic of the show, like, i.e. Hammer and a couple people that might be in the chat, right? The reason why you're seeing me, a person that is on a Dolphins-centric podcast and such discuss, it's because I'm not actually a Dolphins fan. I am a former, keyword, former
Man, you still a Cowboys
Dallas Cowboys fan. So that is where this
Eagle,
disgust is coming from for anybody who might be confused. Like, what's his problem with the Eagles? I hate them. I hate them. But I seen something in the comment, you feel me, that I had to highlight, man. Shout out to what Hammer said, man. Jalen Hurts doesn't wear his ring because he didn't deserve it. Tuck your ish, Hammer. Tuck your ish, man. Talk your ish, man. Talk your ish, Hammer. He don't deserve that. He don't deserve that. Get out of here with all that, man. I'm going to say this before we move on to the next team. Raffy, we did the Lions last week, man. We got the NFC North last week, so we going through all the divisions, bro, until the season starts. So
I think when he said line, I think he was like asking compared to when I said the Eagles could be the best in the NFC. I'll be honest with you.
My apologies. I'm sorry.
No, but to your point, Rafi, the Lions, and I spoke about it on the last week's show. I don't even think the Lions are going to win the division, and it's not like I think they're going to be bad. The Lions, I think, are still going to be a playoff team for sure. It's just with the Packers and the Vikings and possibly the Bears, it's going to be a tough division, right?
Super tough.
So, the Lions and then Washington, I think Washington will improve. And, obviously Herbie's going to get to that. But at the end of the day, I still think Washington just doesn't have enough. When you look at the total rosters, even if you feel like Jaden Daniels is better than Jalen Hurts, different people are going to feel differently about this. But if you feel like at the quarterback position, Washington has an edge, they don't have the edge anywhere else. So at the end of the day, it's going to take Washington some time in order for them to be able to reach the Eagles. No matter how great Jaden is, Jalen Hurts is still a top 10 quarterback, right? Like, I don't, he took his shots.
I'm sorry. That made me throw up.
He is.
I'm sorry.
He is.
He is. He was in our top 10. He was 8 on our ranking. So it's just having to acknowledge that makes me sick. I'm going to say this before we get into to Washington to answer Rafi's question. The thing that's going to separate the Philadelphia Eagles from every other team outside of the Baltimore Ravens, and even above the Baltimore Ravens, as we've seen last year's playoff run, they have, man, Hammer, man, shout out to my brother, man.
Okay, hell.
My brother, man.
You got Coach here, man.
I found my tribe, man. You good in my book. But the thing that the Eagles have that we haven't seen in a long time is that the Eagles have an ability to close games without throwing the football. Yep. It's going to be a point in time where they're going to just say, forget all of that. We're not doing no play action. We're not doing no slant route. Forget all that. We don't care. We're going to give this ball to 26, and he's going to get 5 to 6 yards, and there's nothing you could do to stop it.
Nada.
And that is going to be the hardest thing to deal with. They could be down 10 points, and they'll still run the ball. They're still going to run the ball.
They have the tools for that.
That demoralizes you in the playoffs when you're not as fresh, your legs are not as fresh, the sores hurt a lot more. You're in the cold because you might have to go through Philadelphia. You don't want to hit. You don't want to tackle. You don't want to do none of that. and you have a offensive line pushing you 5 yards down the field, and you have a maniac that's jumping up and turning around and hitting backflips in the air at running back. They have the best closing situation in the NFL. They have the best closing situation that I've seen in some time, like a very long time. So they're going to be very, very hard to deal with. Very, very hard to deal with. But to answer, hold on, right here.
Randy.
How do I feel about Joe Milton practicing the option, doing the pitch for them boys? Might as well. Like, if you got Joe Milton, figure out what you can do. Like, figure out. See, the problem with Joe Milton, and this is why it didn't really make sense for him to get for us. I'm sorry, for the Cowboys. I said us. Disgusting. Sorry. For the Cowboys to trade for him is because Joe Milton is fundamentally 100% completely different as a quarterback than Dak Prescott. So why even get somebody like that? But it is what it is, man.